so in this problem, we have a table and we have a graph. And the question for you guys is, I want to find the lowest maximum, the lowest max. So again, they're all the highest points, but we want to see which of these points is a lower quantity. That's why it's confusing. Well, on a graph, it's easy to spot because remember, if we want to measure how tall or how low something is, we usually resort, well, no, usually it's always the y. In this case, look at this graph. Where am I touching the y right now? You guessed it. My max in this way is, in this case, is -1. Now we gotta look at the table because it might be a lower max, and that might be the answer. So let's double check, guys. To do this, again, I always like to use Desmos because Desmos is a resource that can help you analyze information. We're done practicing how to graph them. We gotta learn what the graph means, okay? That's my view on Desmos. It's very practical. So let's go ahead and do this, guys. I know instead of explaining to you with a table, I'm actually gonna use a table to create a sort of graph. On Desmos, if you want to learn how to do this, press the plus sign and press the table. Now we're going to copy the x's first, guys. We're going to go with -3. Let's write these down. -2, -1. That's a -1. That's a 0. That's a 1. That's a next one is a 2. And the last one is a 3. Now, if we go on the y, remember the y is always your output. G of x is output. So let's go with -4. Let's keep going with a 1. Let's go with a 4. Let's go with a 5, a 4, a 1, and finally a -4. Well, I don't know if you guys were paying attention to the other side of for the graph. It actually gave you a bunch of dots. So if I were to do a drawing here, if I were to connect these dots, you would notice that this is my highest point. So on my table, the highest point possible was the 0.05, which guess what? Which was the max? We discussed that the y is always showing the max. So in this case, this has a max of 5. So once again, if I want to know which one's my lowest max, well, what's the lower number? A 5 or a -1? You guessed it. -1 is a lower number. Therefore, that is the answer.